What's going on there, guys? We back with another one. We have to talk about Ayesha Curry on today. I've been ignoring this topic, for a couple of weeks, but Steph has spoken up for his wife, so we got to get into it on today. As he's called out Killer Mike for going in the comment section trying to get some laughs off of his wife. Now, we all know Ayesha Curry has been accused of embarrassing Steph in public on several occasions, and obviously he's compared to LeBron in this generation. Even just if you look at the basketball perspective of it, the amount of rings they have, them having rivalries, them being on the USA team together, and them actually being close friends now. They compare Aisha Curry to Savannah James. And we're going to look back first at some of the things because recently she made some comments that have come under scrutiny. But let's get into what she said in the past that led us here.
Something that really bothers me and like honestly has given me a sense of a little bit of an insecurity is the fact that yeah, like there are all these women like throwing themselves, but me, like the past 10 years, like I don't have any of that. Like I have zero, this sounds weird, but like male attention. And so then like I begin to internalize it and I'm like, is something wrong with
You're
me?
not,
like
you're not looking.
what
You're not
like
looking.
Now, those are two instances that a lot of people were coming at Aisha Curry. Now, there's been other little things here and there, but those were the two main ones. Now, Aisha has acted in some movies you can see right here on the screen. There's a movie she's in that was on Tubi with Jason Weaver. She was in a Young Berg, who's now known as Hitmaker. She was in his video years and years ago, I believe back in 2008 or something like that. And that would have been during a time where Steph was still at Davidson. Now, what she said recently in an interview is really what has upset people because they think that she is trying to intentionally embarrass Steph by making these comments. Now, let's get into those. And I just want to get the main points out of this. Let's check it out.
Talk about how you met Mr. Steph Curry. You
Yeah.
met him in high school?
Yeah. So I'm Canadian.
Okay.
So I grew up in Markham, Ontario. And I moved to the States at 14 to North Carolina. And that's actually where we met. He's one of the first people that I met in the States, but we just friends. Obviously, we were 14.
Right.
Went to the same church, shared the same friend groups at church. And then when I moved to LA, he Facebooked me.
Did he write on your wall or it was like a private message?
No, it was a private message, but he was like, hey, do you still live in LA? That's a lie. The first message was, I was in this music video and he was like, hey, who is that in the music video, in the picture that you're in? And I'm like, oh, it's Young Berg. And he goes, oh, I should have known. He always has all the sexy ladies. And I was like, what is happening right now?
You're like, Steph, I know you said you're 14. I was 15. What are you trying to do right now?
At this time now, we're 19.
Okay.
18, 19. And so he goes, do you still live in LA? I'm here for a camp. Do you want to hang out? And I'm like freaking out because this guy, he was like the guy at church. Like all the girls loved him.
I thought you were going to say like in high school, like on the court. You're like,
No.
at church, he was the guy.
At church.
Was he the basketball guy in high school or no?
Apparently he was, but I genuinely didn't pay attention to that because I grew up in such an arts driven family that sports outside of like Doug Flutie playing for the Buffalo Bills like it just wasn't a thing in my house. And so he said, so we made plans to hang out. And then I said, where are you staying? And he said, Anaheim. And I was like, I was like,
You're like, so you're coming to me because I'm not.
At this point, I still have the other jobs, like trying to pay the rent. Gas is expensive. So I was like, I'm sorry, I can't this time. But if you're ever back, let me know and we'll go hang out. Yeah.
I get what you're saying. Of like, you never saw him as something. But I'm like, when you look back, is there any memory that you're like, maybe there was something or
no? Never. I in the beginning hated it so much. I like did not sign up for that. I also always thought like I didn't know that he was gonna end up playing basketball. Like he said he wanted to be a high school basketball coach. Like I thought I was gonna be like the girl out there getting it.
Now, there's a TikToker who spoke about this interview and other points he didn't agree with, and Killer Mike made his way into the comment section. He was laughing. He said, "My ninja said she want to go be Glow. Man, Steph doesn't deserve the embarrassment for real, for real. God bless him." Now, Steph Curry seen that, and he went into the comment section under Killer Mike, showing that Steph is reading all this stuff about his wife. He said, "Nah, not you, Mike. I'm cool staying silent and letting these other clowns have their moment. And you're the worst of them, Boo Woods." And that's the TikToker's name. He says, "But you're better than that, Killer Mike. Stay in your lane and let God keep blessing me like he is. We're good over here." And he threw up the deuces, And so Steph even having to come out and say these things, Ayesha may want to dial that back, somewhat, because this has happened um, on quite a few occasions, and clearly Steph feels compelled to respond to it at this point. And you're seeing other celebrities with voices, with a lot of followers, start to give their input on it. Now, is Steph in danger of, after his career, Aisha being able to, leave him and go do what she want to do later? Because they were saying she gonna be out here like the Maury twin, whenever their career is over. But um, or whenever Steph's career is over and they get a little bit older. I'll say this. You have to think, Steph's parents just went through a very public divorce, and nobody ever seen Mama Curry and Dale getting a divorce. So Steph very sensitive, to this. Not even just on a regular level. Like, you're gonna be sensitive towards your wife and your household anyway. But with him and his family going through that, and then him really not seeing eye to eye with his dad for a little bit after that, and some of the things that followed, um, you could see why he's front line for that. Aisha being more outspoken, because I remember in another portion of the interview, she was talking about getting into her culinary stuff. And it was almost like being Steph's wife was bad. Like, she wanted to do it for herself and know that she achieved it. But you know how many people would want that cosign of it being Steph's wife? People gonna say what they want to say. That's the trick bag. They try to say, "Oh, you only got that because you Steph's wife." But what are you at the end of the day? You're Steph's wife, and if that's gonna help you cut the line, let it be. You can't listen to the outside noise, because a lot of people would trade their position of trying to climb that mountain and not having that cosign, not having uh, those resources to be in your position. So those everybody that's talking about you would love to be where you were to get that opportunity. And I think when people have that opportunity, they want to be like the people, in a way, who don't have it, just to say that it was them. Steph remains kind of quiet and has a low profile. I don't think it's nothing wrong with sticking to the script, while he's in his career. And I see uh, Savannah has now started her podcast and things like that. But I seen some clips where when males want to get a picture, Savannah just turn around, chuck them the deuces and things like that. She won't take a picture with them. But with the ladies, yeah, she'll put her arm around them, take a picture, whatever. Because in her mind, when she's out in public, she knows how these tabloids work and everything. She don't want to embarrass LeBron James at the end of the day. And I wish Aisha uh, would take that approach, because it's going to be about perception when you're in the position that you're in. Um, Now, I know she was talking about being at home, raising children, and that wasn't the life she wanted if you watch the whole interview. But again, there's a lot of people who would love to be in that position that she's in. So, uh, I'm not going to go in on Steph's marriage too crazy. I'm not going to degrade his wife, anything like that. But you know, people are saying there are red flags, man. I want to know how you guys feel about this situation. Do you feel like people should just mind their business if he's good? or you feel like people trying to give Steph a little bit of a warning, with where this could be headed. Let me know in the comments. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Till next time. Peace.